Oh, shoot. Of course. Wow, my mic's been muted this whole time. I'm a smarticle particle. Okay. Well, we've got Hecarim. We've got Jin on NTC's side. We've got Mordekaiser on Cornell's side.
Cornell banning out that Oriana.
Yeah, we got Oriana. Oriana banned out by Cornell. Seraphine, or not Seraphine, Zoe banned out by NTC.
NTC. The cold weather today, it's been pretty brutal today. Volibear ban and then a Zac ban for NTC. As we go into our last picking round for both teams. Olaf getting picked up. Ooh, interesting. Malphite pick. I'm curious if that's going to be a support, honestly.
Could also be Swain support.
Swain could support? I didn't... never seen Swain support lane, so that's new to me.
Yeah, that's actually a Hovenorth special.
Yep,
Yeah.
looks like it.
Malphite top, Vlad mid. That's my guess.
Yeah. Giving them a little bit of the last game's... Using last game's medicine that NTC was given for the Vlad. Now they're going to use it against their other team. The other team. And Yone for the final pick.
All right, there we go. So that's the teams for both sides now. We will be getting this game started off in about 3.5 minutes here or so. So if you forgot anything, like coffee or water or bathroom, now would be a great time to go do that. Maybe get yourself some snacks, some popcorn or something, some stretching. But we will be here. And the next game, yeah, it'll be starting in about 3 minutes. So this, I believe, is the first time I've ever seen a Yone or Seraphine in the Riot games, or at least in general.
Yeah, Yone has a very interesting kit. How he can just teleport to a set location and then he'll have to teleport back to where he initially started. Which is a good and a bad thing because it could get you out of situations, but then if you're not able to get the kill or secure it completely, then you got to run back into it.
Yeah.
Or also the other team can be like, well, he's gonna teleport back here eventually, so let's just set up traps and everything for him and then spring the trap.
Yeah, exactly. Being able to see where he left from makes it pretty easy to just like, oh, if he's trying to use that to juke, you can just kind of stand there and wait. So about 2 more minutes left here on the spectator delay.
really cold out. I actually, even inside, I have to wear a second sweater today.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. I had to dig my car out of my driveway twice this morning. So that was not fun.
Well, Wisconsin, we hope you're staying warm today. Tomorrow is supposed to be pretty cold if you live in the Milwaukee area, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Or Wausau area too, for sure. I heard what, negative teens, 20s, something like that with wind chill?
It was something ridiculously low like that.
Yeah. Only in Wisconsin. If this was a school day, you'd still be going. Only in Wisconsin. Remember having to go to high school in negative 40-degree weather. I was like, pretty sure that we shouldn't be going to school in this kind of temps. But, okay.
Yeah, whatever you say. Merrill school system. Master Bubbler from 3 minutes ago, exceptionally excited for the coffee and the water and the snacks and the stretches.
I mean, I did a good stretch right before we start, so I position myself so it's nice, good, ready to go and kick butt.
I was actually using that time for some stretching.
We did have a swap up again, Empower back into the ADC and the Airbender now in mid lane.
Wow, what the heck?
What's up?
You're right, that is a really big switch up. Can't be stopped from the jungle into top lane. Oh, wait. Oh, no. I know what it is. Can't be stopped is still on their roster from last year. He just didn't have enough credits to be on the main line. My guess would be for whatever reason Jungle Ambush wasn't able to make today, or they needed to give playtime to Can't Be Stopped. So they moved him around in their next best configuration. So a little bit of last year with a little bit of this year thrown in. Alright, we'll get this sped back up so we're with all the good action.
Oh. Paused the game.
Oh, it didn't actually start speeding up. What the heck? Alright, both sides kind of spread out in your fairly standard starting defensive positions here.
Something's going on with the mouse for the
That's
enemy
what it is.
team. I think Yone.
Not sure. Looks like Hecarim looking to scout into the Cornell jungle just a little bit, but he's not looking to fight. He's just looking to place a ward on that Raptor pack. The rest of the team's still just not really looking for anything here. They're going to wait out the pregame, get those minions into lane, and start farming. League of Legends is all a game about getting more gold and more experience. Those are really the two big things that you need. Gold comes from actually dealing the last hit to these minion and monsters. The minions in the lane, the monsters in the jungle. And then experience is gained from just being near any of that when it dies. Experience helps you get more power through your character's abilities, while gold lets you buy items to enhance your character's abilities. Ooh, we see a pretty decent engagement from Yone here onto the Vlad. But Vlad is actually going to stay fairly safe.
Yeah, he's just gonna stay in that lane and just keep healing up, so that way all that damage that Yone did is probably not gonna matter too much.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Vladimir being such a sustained, heavy mage, is he can take a beating and then just be safe for like 7 to 10 seconds, and then he can be aggressive once again, and he doesn't have to leave lane to do it. All three lanes kind of just having their back and forth right now. Nothing interesting really happening early on. Ooh. Empower putting in a decent chunk of damage on Seraphine, but can't quite finish it off. Oh, is this a combo? Nope. Dang. Just barely missed the skill shot that would have rooted her. Airbender trying to fight this Yone, knowing that if he just survives a little bit longer, he has to go back to his shade no matter what. That's exactly what he did. Meanwhile, oh, more MF and Seraphine in a bad position. Seraphine flashes out as MF runs up into the river to try and stay safe next to Olaf. He is now here, forcing Queen Shyvana back. Olaf is out for blood, though. He is trying to get very aggressive here. Hovenarth flashing over the top of him, allowing him power to pick up a kill on Seraphine. That's first blood for NTC and a double kill. We see two people now from Cornell in the bot lane. They're not going to try and get greedy with it, though.
And now Empower with that double buff from the and stealing it from the enemy jungle.
That's going to make him a monster in the bot lane. That is going to be huge.
It's really good for him because with his support that he has of Swain isn't able really to heal unless he pops heal, or well, he doesn't even have heal. But Swain is doesn't have any really heals for Empower as far as goes, but the red buff is just gonna give him passive health regen over the time period, as well as that blue buff is just gonna make it so he has a lot of mana, so he's gonna be spending that mana a lot more.
Yeah. So the main thing with red buff, while the health regen is super nice, the real big thing to remember about that is on every auto attack it leaves a persistent damage over time burning effect. And when you are a character like Jhin who auto attacks a lot, red buff can be very powerful. And the earlier you can get it, it's just flat damage on low health pools that they just can't deal with. Or at least not very easily. So that, coupled with the blue buff, means that he can kind of freely throw all of his controlling abilities down without fear of running out of mana, and use those controlling abilities to exert that heavy auto attack pressure. Oh, Yone once again trying to follow up on Vlad after a nice combo from Airbender, but it's just not gonna happen.
And honestly, Airbender's coming out on top when you think about it, because they're even on the health at that moment once he pulled out all his damage. And he's just gonna come back and say, yep, nope, I'm back to 3/4. Oh, now I'm back to full, and now you're just now hitting your 3/4.
Yeah, Vlad is able to kind of just out-sustain really anybody in the mid lane, so this Yone is kind of fighting an uphill battle in that regard. If he's not killing Swain, Swain is just outvaluing him. Oh, nice! A solid gank from Queen Shyvana is going to put Mordekaiser down. Another kill for NTC.
NTC leading with a almost a over 1.5k gold lead right now.
1.5 on its own isn't a whole lot. At this point in the game, that kind of value has kind of started to diminish. There's enough gold in the pool now where 1.5 isn't as impactful as it could be, but it is still a lead. It's still putting NTC closer to getting their mythic items completed. And those mythic items are a real game changer in a lot of senses. I'll point out some of the big ones as they get online here for the stream. But they very much define your item build and playstyle for the rest of the game.
And we did just see Olaf try to sneak a kill down bot lane, but you just said, you know what? No, you get out of our tri-bush, and we're gonna just go ahead and kick you out.
At this point, it looks like Cornell is looking up to set up a dragon. Teleport from NTC, though, will have them running scared, as NTC is now looking at a 5v4 versus Cornell, thanks to that Malphite teleport. NTC jumping on that dragon, trying to take it real quick before Cornell really knows what's going on. Seraphine maybe looking to get a little greedy alongside MF here against the Vlad. He just uses his Sanguine Pool, manages to get out. NTC now close, they get the dragon. Olaf now engaging late into this fight here. Hecarim taking the fight to Olaf as Olaf goes down. Hecarim's nice ult comes in, locks down Yone and Seraphine, allowing NTC to take out the Yone as well. Seraphine and MF now running scared. And I don't think NTC is going to be able to follow up anymore here, but that was a fantastic win.
Oh,
they
yeah,
got dragon and 2 kills? 2 kills?
2 kills and a dragon, and that dragon buff is Mountain, which is going to give them a little bit more armor and magic resist. So we take less damage now, basically.
Which that will help to kind of offset any damage coming in the early game. That particular buff will only get better as time goes on, however.
Because it's based off of what you already have built at that time. And right now, it looks like the only one on NTC was Malphite with the Null Magic Mantle, which is good against the Mordekaiser.
Mordekaiser being a lot of magic damage, despite his quite beefy form and the fact that he uses his giant mace to club you for every animation, pretty much. He is somehow a magic damage character. Things can be wonderfully deceptive in this game.
Still does physical, so it's a nice little mix. I'd say he's a good mix. Just his abilities do magic.
Yeah, it's because his attacks still do physical, and he still makes quite a lot of use of his attacks. But despite like one of his attacks being him just hitting you with his club, somehow that's magical.
And it looks like they're gonna try to go for a gank or just getting that pink ward really deep in there.
Yeah, early vision on there allows the Olaf to see when NTC's jungler Hecarim comes walking through. It allows him to pinpoint the position of him, and if Olaf is in the business of trying to 1v1 this Hecarim in his own jungle potentially, this will allow him to do just that. Though it is strange to put it there and not a lesser traveled bush. Because there are some lesser traveled bushes in the earlier parts of the game that can still be pretty impactful.
Yeah, because that ward probably isn't going to get a name because it's not going to be up for more than 2 minutes.
Ooh, Airbender in a rough place as he tries to flash out, but the enemy Yone follows up with a flash of his own and manages to secure the first kill for Cornell. Ooh, Olaf in the bot lane now. He's rushing in, trying to get a kill. Hovenorth with a nice dodge, doubling back in to try and hold this engagement as Hecarim gets there. The damage now pouring out from both sides as 4 ultis have been used. NTC now taking 2 of the kills. And that's going to be it. Nice 2-0 kills. 2-0 in kills for NTC.
And that's just going to add up more value onto that gold for them.
The unfortunate bit here is Mordekaiser and Yone, despite being, in their lanes most of the time, despite Yone's kind of relative difficulty with Vlad, they've actually been staying up in CS in the top and mid lanes, which means that despite NTC's 6k gold lead, before that tower, they were only up by 2k. That tower now puts them up another 1.5k, which is nice, so they're 3.5k above, which means NTC is probably in the business of finishing some mythic items here pretty quickly.
And as you say that,
at least on our bot lane. Yep, there's Jin buying his Gale Force. This is just an item that makes all the other legendary items grant movement speed. It gives standard stats like you would normally see. And then it has an activatable that lets you dash in a direction and shoot some missiles. If you were familiar with the... oh, goodness.
Hex Tech.
It was the Hex Tech something or other. I can never remember the name, like the actual full ID names of those items. But that Hex Tech something or other. It's like that, but for physical.
It's basically a nice flash.
Yeah. It's extra mobility for heroes that don't have them. Alright, so we've got Cornell now kind of grouping a little bit in their bot side jungle. Dragon is up, so it could be a consideration for them to try and get Dragon, but with NTC also fully alive and at full strength, it's a risky decision for sure.
Yeah, these right now it seems like they're trying to figure out what to do, and it's causing a lot of issues for them.
They've spent a lot of time just thinking and not a lot of time doing, and any time spent doing that is time you're not generating value, and your enemy is, and that can sometimes end very poorly. We see Olaf coming in, trying to gank mid, doesn't quite get the opportunity, as Swain and Jin just keep it chill. They've swapped lanes now with the Vladimir at this point, so Vlad is bot lane, and will probably stay that way for the rest of the laning phase of the game.
Yeah, the thought process for NTC for that one is, well, we're doing really good at bot, and we're making sure that bot's not getting any good income. So mid, let's swap, because you're doing okay, but you can do even better against those two at bot.
Yeah. So the idea behind that lane swap, just like you mentioned, is trying to take your strong lane and put it against their strong lane. In this case, it was only Yone. The idea then being that Vlad will have a better chance to catch up by going to a different lane, not necessarily dealing with the Yone anymore, while the stronger team members are able to go toe-to-toe with that stronger opponent in that lane. It's a pretty common mid-game tactic to swap lanes like that, but it usually doesn't need to last too long. Oh, Malphite is unfortunately dead. Oh, a nice ulti from Malphite. Almost managed to save him, but the Olaf stayed true and went after him anyways. That's going to be the second kill for Cornell here.
But I will say,
nice
NTC did get a cloud
Ulti's
break.
coming out from two people as MF drops behind her second tower. Hovenorth in a rough place as he unfortunately goes down to the Yone. Yone maybe looking to follow up against Empower, and he does exactly that. That's now 2 kills for Yone. NTC needing to regroup here as only Hecarim and Vlad are near each other. Alright. Looks like that's how the cards are going to fall here. And NTC still up about 2k in the gold differential, but, you know, they... that lead could have been much bigger. So we'll see how this goes into the late game.
Well, right now, NTC with those 2 dragons currently, they just need 2 more for it to be to get that not cloud, but spirit dragon or
Elder Drake.
Elder Drake buff.
Yeah. So to kind of explain, if anybody's confused about how these dragon buffs work. The first 2 dragon buffs, well, I should say there are 3 dragon buffs that you will see in any one game out of 4. The first 2 will appear once, and then the third one will appear for the rest of the game. Each time you acquire one of them, they all stack. So if you get multiple cloud dragons, you get multiple ability haste cooldowns, or ultimate ability haste cooldowns. Once either team acquires 4 of these buffs, in any amount, the elemental drakes will stop spawning, and the Elder Drake will spawn, which is slightly tougher, but gives a much stronger team fight focused buff that also amplifies the rest of the other dragon buffs that you have. Here we see Cornell trying to go for Rift Herald. They've got pretty much their whole team in this area, and I don't think NTC knows about it. So they're probably just going to get this Herald for free.
Yeah, the thing is though, Herald's only
There it
good
is.
for just pushing a single lane versus if it was a not Rift Herald but
A Baron?
Baron buff, because then they could push multiple lanes. Where NTC was pushing the lanes while they were all busy with that.
Yeah, that's very true. The thing is that it's still a very powerful pushing tool even for one lane, and it's basically a pick a tower and destroy it button. So it's still a very valuable resource to take, and even though NTC was pushing, this gives Cornell the chance to clap back at the most important turret that they need to get down. Mostly, it allows them to halfway win one team fight and then take the mid tower.
Yeah, the only thing is
that ulti from Seraphine connects with both Hovenorth and Empower. Hovenorth doing his best to try and stay alive, but he is in a horrible position. Outmatched by 4 of Cornell. Empower manages to get out at least, though. The real carry of NTC here still doing his best. And doing quite well at it.
Yeah. The Rift Herald.
Oh, there's
the only
Herald.
thing. Yep. The only thing with Rift Herald is if you just let it do its job, yeah, it's gonna tear down a tower. But if you auto attack it, like NTC was doing, they made sure that thing was gone within 5 seconds of being up. So.
Yeah, that was actually just a rough use by Cornell. You don't ever want to just use it for the sake of using it. And the last place you want to put it, unless you have a lot of damage going in, is on a full health tower. The idea is you get it down to like 3/4, and then you hit it with the Herald, because that charge will then just delete the tower, and it can go and keep marching on to hopefully hit another one. It's also why you want to try to use it after a fight, which
and then
Cornell didn't either.
Yeah, and then the Rift Herald, once it destroys the tower can't shoot it because, well, it's gone. So,
Yeah.
Another good reason why you'd want to wait a little bit.
Alright, so we see Infernal Dragon coming up here, number 3. That means that's going to be the rest of the map here then, is the Infernal Dragon. Infernal Dragon increases the collecting team's damage output, basically. So now, until a team gets 4 of these buffs, either NTC with a Cloud Mountain and 2 Infernal, or Cornell with 4 Infernal, until that happens, just be Infernal Drakes. Big fight breaking out mid here. Yone goes hard into the backline. A nice combo from MF, and Seraphine puts Hovenorth down. And it looks like Yone was able to get to Empower. That is unfortunate, because now Airbender is trying to run away, and he's not going to make it. Hecarim's trying to scare them off a tower and keep it safe as long as he can. But once again, Cornell has a ton of damage with 4 people being here. Seraphine taking an extra tower shot there and getting executed. That means that NTC got no experience or gold for her death there.
Yeah, but at least the one thing you can look at it for NTC is she's not up. She's not being able to push. She's not able to do her job. She's not getting any income or XP right now, so...
Yeah. At almost 21 minutes in, we see Cornell reversing the gold lead for the first time this game. They did need the help of 2 structures to make that happen, though. So if NTC can just get their push on, they will retake that gold lead pretty quickly.
Yeah, NTC only has 1 tower down currently, and that's the bot one versus NTC losing their 3.
Mm-hmm. There is, yeah, this is kind of something that I've noticed with NTC this year, in that they just don't seem to push that hard, or at least as hard as they should. They kind of wander around in the mid-game and then get caught out like Hovenorth did, and they don't really try to pick the engagements that they want.
Yeah, it seems like they were trying to death push, which would just surprise them, but the enemy team always just sticking together as a team and just not letting anyone sit by themselves. But right now, they're all spread out, and this is when the death bush would be great. But when you do it in your enemy's jungle, it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Oops. Lots of abilities going out in mid, but not a whole lot of substance behind it. Just a lot of posturing. Alright, looks like Cornell might be trying to prep Dragon a little bit. They still got 2 minutes left, so probably not.
Looks like they're just trying to push mid, so that way they have. So if they want to go get Baron, they can get Baron. If they want to get Dragon, they get Dragon.
Olaf coming in from the side angle is going to get spotted out by a Jhin trap. That nice ulti from Seraphine is going to last tick hit Jhin, which MF follows up with her own Make It Rain, killing him pretty quickly and turning this fight right in the direction of Cornell as they walk away with a total of 3 kills off of that solid engagement.
Now that looks like they're going to go get ready for that Baron.
Yep. They're just going straight for Baron while NTC's down. NTC doesn't have the forces to really contest with this Baron, and they won't have them up for another 20 seconds, so this is essentially a free
Their jungler
Baron.
is still up.
There's no way he's getting across the map. Moving north in a rough place. We'll see if Queen Shyvana goes for the steal here. Trying to go for it and does not land the steal, unfortunately. Rough. Big play attempt. Manages to get Seraphine at the very least, so
yeah.
A little bit of a consolation prize there.
At least Seraphine doesn't have the buff now, I believe, right?
Correct. Yeah, Seraphine will not have the buff now. NTC now looking about 5k behind here as we're pushing into the 24.5 minute area. Once again, they're still down on 3 structures, so that's 4,500 just sitting there. If NTC is able to push. Cornell jumping on Dragon immediately as it spawns. I'm not sure if NTC was prepared for this or not, but that is another Dragon for Cornell, giving them another Infernal Dragon buff, which is another 4% for their attack damage and ability power. Which means Cornell just got a whole lot more painful.
Yeah. I am noticing that NTC, they're not making their, they don't have all their legendary items yet, where the other team does.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, it's Hovenorth that's missing his? That's not that big of a deal. He's the support. He decided to rush his Zonias for survivability first, and that's not a terrible idea.
True.
But looking at some of these other mythics, got the Riftmaker. Increases all other items' lifesteal, basically, and ability power. And then gives you some extra damage for being in combat longer. And Gore Drinker gives you an extra active to hit people around you and heal you. Getting some extra haste. Shield bow. Oh, another nice combo from Seraphine, and MF is going to end up dropping 2 of NTC's players. That is going to knock out the Jhin and the Malphite, and now NTC really doesn't have a whole lot to stand up against what Cornell is bringing in this mid lane. They've got 2 siege minions here with the Baron buff that allows them to attack from a lot farther away and hit a lot harder. And Mordekaiser's kind of doing the same thing on his own down bot lane, because all you need is the Baron buff to enhance all the minions around you. At this point, Cornell's getting very dive happy now behind the Nexus, trying to clean up these last couple of kills on NTC so they can push in peace. It is going to cost Seraphine her life as NTC now starts to come back up. Mordekaiser pops his ult on Hecarim, taking him out of the game, well, out of the fight temporarily, and we've got a pause. There's a bit of a disconnect issue happening right now. Man, this game has been something else. NTC started out a really powerful force at the beginning, and you know, this kind of has been the trend for the past few weeks, is they have a really solid beginning game, and then just as the game goes on, I think they spend too much time trying to think about what they want to do next and not enough time doing what they're trying to do next. So it results in them getting significantly less CS, significantly less push. Their jungle objective presence has been noticeably weaker this year. But, you know, we spoke with Hovenorth on that topic at least a little bit. And, you know, Dragon isn't as important early as it was before. Ooh. The pause resolves, and we see Hecarim and Mordekaiser drop immediately. NTC still is in this. They just need to win a few clean fights so that they can start pushing. They just need to make sure that basically they can get as many kills as they can without anybody on their team dying. Doesn't matter how low they get. In a lot of ways, health is just another resource to be managed, and you can give up some health to be able to get out and live and then still come back and do damage. It's just risky. And right now, NTC needs to be safe and take risks when it's appropriate. Otherwise, they need to be extra safe.
Well, like you said, with them being safe, they're placing wards now. I'm trying to make sure that they don't get caught out this time.
Mm-hmm. I know you're a little more perceptive to the vision war. How has NTC been on that front?
NTC, I would say they've been pretty well on as far as the vision. It's just they get caught out. They try to pick a fight that they think they can win. And, well, what ends up happening is they aren't prepared for something that's a little bit further out of the reach of the vision that they have.
Yeah, NTC is actually up in vision score right now across the board, with exception to Hovenorth. So NTC's definitely been a lot more careful about their vision game this game, as opposed to like last week or the week before.
Hovenorth just getting out of there with just barely with his life. Stopping that Zonia's.
Mordekaiser heading down bot with a wave of minions, was looking to maybe get the inhib, but his team's not in a position to push mid at the same time, so it's a very risky play, and he's just not going to take that risk. NTC here now probably down to the last fight that will determine this match. A solid ulti from Malphite, and Hecarim leaves most of the team CC'd as Jin just pumps his shots in from across the map. MF and Yone go down as NTC is still trying to win this fight here. Malphite does go down to the Olaf from the courtyard, but NTC manages to pick up the kill on the Olaf and the Seraphine. It is now just Mordekaiser in between 4 Timberwolves. Can he make it out? Oh, he gets slowed, he gets snared, he gets pulled, and that is going to be the end of Mordekaiser. A very clean ace for NTC. That is exactly the play that they needed here. Now they just need to shove mid as hard as possible. And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do, while Hecarim is prepping and taking Dragon.
Oh, yeah. Or, no, they're going to go for that Baron. It just spawned, so it makes sense to just get it while you can.
I guess, but unless they expect to kill this very quickly, Cornell's going to be back up well in time to be able to contest this. It could be one of those things where they're hoping that they see the Dragon kill and then don't think to come check Baron because they will have assumed that NTC went to Dragon.
Well, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen because Queen Shyvana just ran straight through mid and minions saw it, but
it does look like they are going to get it before Cornell can react. Good, 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 good. That's a massive momentum shift for NTC as they now try to get out. Oh no, Airbender just needed to have finished that cast and he would have been fine.
He looks like he might get out with some tricky plays. That is the Vlad's thing to do.
While that's true, that much damage.
Yeah.
That.
The damage, yep.
Alright, so Cornell is now in top lane, looking to siege down as much of the structures as they can of NTC while Airbender is down. But no, they're just going to take that and probably get out.
The thing is the reason why NTC wanted to get that probably was because, hey, if we get Baron, they're not going to be able to push really hard if they ace us again. So
Yeah,
it's better that we get it so we can be defensive with it versus offensive.
Yeah, exactly. It was a good play to take the Dragon and the Baron at the same time there, because it does deny Cornell resources, but I do think they should have prioritized taking that first tier tower as well, because they are so far behind in the structures department, and if they can just start getting some structures, it will easily shift this gold lead back into NTC's favor very quickly, and it might give them the momentum swing that they're looking to help close this out.
Waiting.
And as you're saying that, they're going for that mid tower now and just pushing straight on in because they can see. They did see that Mordekaiser was down in that bot lane, so they're like, hey, let's just get this real quick.
And with that tower kill, NTC is the closest they have been since Cornell took the lead to actually recovering that lead. They're a little bit under 1,000 behind at this point. A lot of both teams now grouping in the topside jungle. Cornell technically outmatched in this 5v4, as Mordekaiser is now making his way in the direction of the rest of his team. Looks like Cornell might be going for a bit of a flank here. Or maybe it's just ward clearing.
It looks like NTC is trying to bait them out.
Ooh, Olaf just walked into the Hornet's nest. NTC puts out a lot of damage, but they're not able to finish him off. Yone using his dash doesn't quite get anywhere, but Yone goes down. Seraphine also whiffed at the beginning there. Unfortunately, we see Swain and Malphite drop as the rest of NTC is now just trying to stay safe. Airbender trying to run away from Olaf, but his speed and his persistence is something to be admired. NTC now looking at 3 people, but these are their 3 heaviest damage dealers. If Hecarim can get a proper engagement here from behind using his ulti, if he can fear enough of those targets, Jhin might be able to come in to clean up a kill or 2. Unfortunately, now that Vlad is not in the area, that's going to make things just a little bit harder. Hecarim opting instead to take a ward and then stay safe. Jhin here trying to finish off the Mordekaiser. He's not going to get it. He gets slowed. He's now in a rough place as Airbender and Hecarim go in to try and save him. Oh, Vladimir goes down. Hecarim now trying to get out as Jhin is putting in the damage. 3 members, actually pretty much all of these 4 members of Cornell now very low. If Empower can do this right, that's 3 kills for Empower. Will the Jhin finish off the quadra kill? The quadra kill!
That triple
There
kill,
it
that
is.
initial triple kill was all grenade bounce, by the way.
I know, that was so good.
And like we said, Cornell was sticking as a team, and then as soon as one of them split up, it seemed like that they kind of just said, you know what, we're gonna let them get some kills. But NTC get those kills, and well, NTC got those kills.
That was a very, very well executed bait fight through, kite fight through the bottom jungle there by NTC. You know, they never once got themselves too overexposed until it was time to full commit. So they were all able to kind of bring their health down fairly low individually and put out as much damage as they could in that time together as a 3-stack. So that way, by the time that the Hecarim and the Vladimir went down, Jhin had the damage and they were low enough to just come in and finish everything off. That's the 4th dragon for NTC. That means that the next dragon that comes out will be Elder Dragon. So these are the final elemental buffs that we'll be seeing for both teams in this game. And that That's actually a very, very big thing for NTC here. Stopping your opponent from getting those elemental drakes is just power that you have that they can never gain now. Same with turret plates at the beginning of the game. The more turret plates you clear, that's gold that your team gets that the other team has no way of making up.
Yeah, now NTC's coming ahead just barely in the gold. Not by much, but they're now even, and Cornell does have that 8 tower kills where NTC hasn't even gotten, they've only gotten 3 of the towers, so there's a lot of money to be made for NTC. A lot of stonks potentially.
All of the stonks. Yeah, if NTC can get to pushing here pretty quickly, they're still trying to win these team fights before they push, which I think is still the right option here. They've been winning the team fights. They're now even. If they try and get risky and just take a structure instead of actually fighting, that could be the difference in Cornell coming back into this. A nice kill on Yone from Empower. Unfortunately, has him go down due to body blocking minions and an MF ult. But the Guardian Angel picks him back up. NTC is still at 5, while Cornell is down 1. Unfortunately for NTC, though, Mordekaiser is about to take the bottom inhibitor. He does. Malphite chooses that moment to engage onto the mid lane of Cornell. It is now a 4v2 in the mid lane, as NTC is looking to make short work of this tower. Thankfully, Jin is stacked, and he can make that happen pretty quick. That mid inhib tower goes down. NTC may have lost a bot inhib, but they're going to clap back with a mid inhib of their own.
And Hecarim and Mordekaiser are fighting it out, 1v1 down in the NTC's top jungle.
Big shield from Mordekaiser might keep him safe enough. It does. He manages to knock out the Hecarim, as it looks like NTC is now going to start retreating off of the mid lane, take that win for the win, and get recuperated for the next fight. They are now leading by almost 1,500. Finally turning that lead back in their favor for the first time since the beginning of the game. Well, they have a lead again.
Again.
Oh, Olaf looking very aggressive. I don't know if he
they're
was going for the Swain or just
jungle.
looking to get the Baron real quickly, but
They're looking to get that Baron. They know that NTC does have their jungler down, and he will not be up in time.
this means that NTC either needs to somehow win a 4v5, which Vlad is bot lane, or they need somebody with Smite, and they don't have that. So they didn't even get in position, as it were, so now they just need to go turtle their heart out and hope that this Baron buff is not going to spell the siege defeat.
Yeah, the thing is if Cornell stays grouped up as a team, the chance of NTC getting this win is slimmer. But it does look like, kind of like what I said a little earlier with the just out of vision range. You got that, what's her name? This Cornell support, just staying out of reach, so that way she can just,
Oh, Seraphine.
yeah, Seraphine, so she can just, gosh, I'm just drawing blanks today, I'm sorry.
She wants to keep her
Brain
distance
freeze.
because she's an enchanter style support. So what that means is she herself is relatively squishy, but she has a lot of controlling and powerful abilities that she can use to help out her team. So in a lot of these fights, Seraphine is doing the smart thing of staying way back and trying to use her range to her advantage to pressure NTC alongside Cornell without ever really exposing herself. And she's been doing a fantastic job of that all game.
She's
Meanwhile,
trying to
a
charm
massive...
them. That's the word I was looking for, by the way.
Oh, charm them. Meanwhile, there's a massive wave down bot. Thankfully, Hecarim's really good at wave clear, so he should be fine to just clear that out. Olaf getting very aggressive in the courtyard here as MF throws out her ulti. Yone goes down in the crossfire as well. It looks like Vladimir might be going down here soon as Malphite is trying to stay alive versus the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser comes back out of the Shadow Realm. He's tanking the tower, but he doesn't really care as Empower is just trying to stay alive. Mordekaiser taking a beating from the tower even more. Mordekaiser now in a very rough place. As Hecarim gets the kill on Seraphine, Empower trying to come back and help out Queen Shyvana as much as he can, But unfortunately, he gets pulled and slammed by the Mordekaiser. Now it's just Hecarim and Vladimir for NTC versus Olaf and Mordekaiser, with a lot of minions for both.
And that tower just trying to hit hard, but obviously towers don't hit hard in this late of the game.
Not as hard as they normally do. Oh, a nice double combo here from Shyvana, and Airbender is going to take out both Mordekaiser and Olaf, but not before NTC loses their final Nexus turret. NTC's in a very rough place here. Their final structure, the structure that Cornell needs to kill in order to win, is now exposed and has no defenses. So there have been cheeky plays in the past. I don't know if we'll see it out of Cornell here, because they don't exactly have the greatest team for something like this, but this particular situation that NTC is in leaves them open for what's called a backdoor, where somebody from Cornell just sneaks past NTC's team and walks right in and takes out the tower before NTC can recall and get back to them.
Yeah, the Olaf can definitely easily do it by himself, so they got to be very careful with that against the Olaf.
The Olaf has the damage. The thing is, he doesn't have teleport, so he has to walk past NTC. So as long as NTC is keeping decent vision up, that won't happen. Meanwhile, NTC looking to take the Elder Dragon here. They managed to secure that, giving them a significant buff for mostly aimed at team fighting, but it kind of helps everywhere. Gives you like an execute and some extra AP and AD, as well as doubling all of these effects that they already have. So NTC's in a very powerful position for the next several minutes. I don't remember exactly how long that buff lasts. But NTC wants to look to be pushing lanes as hard as they can and picking fights as a team right now with this buff. Hopefully they're looking to do just that as Hecarim grabs the blue buff. Malphite dips back to pick up his Spirit Visage. Now maybe they'll start grouping. We see Cornell's Mordekaiser in the top lane doing split lane things like he should be. NTC looking to react to the split off Mordekaiser and hopefully pick him to make it a nice 4v5. But they're not going to get there in time. He just recalls.
Yeah, Cornell is just going to wait and group up and just seem like they're just going to try to push heavily together.
Well, I think Cornell right now is trying to treat this Elder Dragon buff as a Baron buff. They don't want to get too far out of their courtyard because they don't want to get caught out. They know that they're going to potentially lose that fight because of the Dragon buff. So they're just trying to let NTC eat up as much time on that buff as they can before they actually get aggressive. And it looks like NTC might finally be deciding to do that. Meanwhile, I said I didn't think we were going to see it. Is he going to go in the bot lane? He's not going into the bot lane. Mordekaiser is going for the sneak, except he revealed himself in the bot lane. Oh no! Mordekaiser, my dude, you had a great thought. And then you revealed yourself. Oh no. Meanwhile, the Airbender getting comboed on here in the mid lane. He's going to be a casualty of NTC's retreat, trying to now react to this Mordekaiser. Hovenorth trying to get away as well. Olaf, though, is super speedy, and there's not a whole lot Hovenorth can do here. He is just trying to stay alive and return as much damage as he can. NTC in a rough place as they are now 3v5 with two of their members down. Mordekaiser taking Hecarim to the Shadow Realm as they duke it out mano a mano. Comes back out of the Shadow Realm. A nice Zonia's from Mordekaiser, but I don't think it's actually going to save him in any way. Instead, it's just a blown cooldown. What it did, however, do is chew up more time for Cornell to take Baron with NTC distracted. So that's going to be a Baron buff for Cornell. Little silver lining for NTC, Mordekaiser does not have that Baron buff.
Blue team's inhibitors respawn soon.
And now the mid inhibitor is going to respawn soon, so that will make it so that NTC will have some awareness if someone tries to sneak past.
Well, and with having all three of those inhibitors up now as well, the Nexus can't immediately be destroyed. One of those inhibitors has to go down first, so it at least has some defense at this point as well. even if it is defense in the form of a meat shield. Both teams grouping near mid. Not sure if Cornell is looking to group and push mid, split push mid and top, group and push top. Looks like they're going for the split angle here as Mordekaiser is now firmly in the top lane, taking some CS. We've got Empower and Airbender reacting to that, while the rest of the team stays safe near their middle inhib. They need to be very careful with all these fights because they don't have any towers to back them up, which means they're down a Baron empowered minion wave in every single one of these fights. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but these minions' damage throughout the course of a fight, it'll add up, and it can be the difference of that last 200 or 300 health that you needed to survive. Ooh, a nice timed pull from Vlad actually has him putting the hurt in on Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser takes Vlad to the Shadow Realm, as Vlad is now just trying to stay alive to get back near his team. That happens, but a big Seraphine ult comes through and charms 2 of NTC's members. 3 of NTC goes down as the GA pops on Jhin. He is somehow still alive and manages to get the Olaf, but Hecarim goes down. It is now a 1v4 in Jin's eyes as he takes down 2 members, now narrowly dodging the Yone as he tries to just stay away from him long enough for him to return, but it doesn't happen. He goes down, and Cornell is able to push with their their 2 biggest damage dealers and their support to take the Nexus, and that's gonna be game. Dang. GG's to both teams. That was exciting. Very exciting.
Definitely a very evenly matched game for sure. NTC just needed to get that push, and they just oh my goodness. Cornell was just keeping pressure is basically what was happening, and NTC couldn't get that pressure off at all.
Yeah. And, again, we saw a lot of the same issues that we've seen out of NTC in these past couple of weeks as well. Just, they need to be more cautious about their late game farming. They need to make sure that they are on top of getting gold where and when they can get it. But then also, consistent vision. I think that's what really helped them in this game as compared to like last week's game, for example. I feel like their vision was kind of suffering just a little bit, and this time it was a lot more. They were at least putting down more wards, which meant that they could see these ganks before they happened, and that got them closer. I don't think it won them. I think their gold farming is what ended up being rough for them towards the end there. But just some few stats to look at for those that care. This was total damage done to champions, so kind of the relevant damage amount, if that makes sense. Jhin pulling his weight, but Cornell's MF and Mordekaiser either outclassed or were very close to him. So just this right here is a good way to see that, this is where Cornell was winning. They had the hero damage. All right, so we'll hopefully be getting this next game underway shortly. Transfer that back over here while we wait for the lobby to get set up. All right. Any takeaways you got from that?
I will say that they did really good with the when they aced Cornell, which turned the game around for sure and made it a good fight for straight.
Yeah, that ace was a really fantastic play that really kind of marked the turning point for the entire game for NTC there. Unfortunately, it didn't turn enough in their favor. It started to get there, but then that last team fight, boy, that Seraphine landed the perfect ult. Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and hang out here. for this next match. And when things kick off, we'll be here to chat about that. Until then, I'm going to play a brief little video that I normally put out at the beginning. But I figure this is a good time to play it as well. So, sorry, give me one moment. There we go. Alright, we'll be right back in about a minute and a half.
Bubbles, the hero Sombra starting a brutal attacking spree. Master Bubbles takes out the Junkrat, faces Reinhardt and takes him out! Fox's Wrecking Ball activates his grappling claw, releases for his attack, and oh my goodness, he sends him flying out of the arena! Empower shooting out Jesus' special death rocket, bang! The shot rings true! NTC has ripped themselves out of the jaws of defeat and are making the final push.
Goal. He's gonna put it up for Koi Boy, and he's there, puts the postage stamp, and that's our goal! And Flash scores the opening goal, game number 1. Rohan with a second attempt puts it in the back of the net.
Oh, my mic was off when I came back from that. I'm silly. Well, we're back, and the lobby is squared away. We'll hopefully be getting the picks and bans underway soon. And then we'll get into this next match here. The second game versus NTC versus Cornell. Second game of NTC versus Cornell? Something like that. We got an R out from NTC. Looks like Cornell needs just a little bit more time. Probably talking shop and trying to figure out how they're going to approach NTC's game this time with Trent being on ADC. I think that kind of threw him for a little bit of a loop there. You know, we saw some interesting bans coming out on Cornell's side, but none of them really seemed targeted against his character pool in particular, at least his character pool on ADC. I think they might have been expecting him to play mid, like he has been playing the past several games. So we'll see if they ban out that... oh goodness, that Jhin or not, but we know if they ban the Jhin, they're only opening up for the Tristana. But we are now into the picks and bans phase, so we'll go on over there. NTC looking for their first ban here. Rengar will be NTC, or not NTC, Rengar will be Cornell's first ban.
Their fear is wise.
Udyr, the second ban then for NTC with the first ban for NTC, Galio the second ban for Cornell. I need more coffee, I think. Seraphine comes in as the second ban for NTC, while Cornell responds with a very quick Ahri. Once again, seeing that Galio ban, which is very much an Empower special, I don't think I've ever seen the Airbender rock Galio. So we'll see how this goes. Maybe NTC will look at taking the Tristana. Maybe they do the Jhin again.
Definitely not dealing with that Mordekaiser, that's for sure.
I cannot blame them. That, boy howdy, that Shadow Realm was rough.
Oh. And they picked up that Swain. Instead of banning him, they just said, we're going to take him and use him against you.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a valid option. That's the beauty of, this draft kind of system, is there's a lot of almost like chess gameplay that goes on here of just like, who's the most valuable on their team that we don't want to use, so we can ban them out. Who's very valuable on their team that we can use, maybe we can just, take them from them in the case of Cornell here. But NTC will respond to the Swain pick with a Leona and an Ornn pick. So looking for some strong bot lane control mixed with some strong late game pressure across the entire team. This, to me, is feeling like a Tristana pick. We'll see.
Yeah, we're on that 3-minute delay, so they can't hear us about talking about it.
Yup.
So they can't ban it. So unless they start looking at Empower's gameplay footage for ADC, they probably won't know that he plays Tristana quite a lot.
Yeah. Ooh, Urgot comes in as a pick for Cornell. That's one I've not seen recently. Exciting.
I'm curious on where Urgot's going to be played at, because Morg and Swain could both be support, but Swain could definitely be played top, and then Urgot. So it makes sense, I guess. So Urgot would probably be played top, and Morg in the middle, and Swain in the bot lane as support, and trying to use what NTC used.
I think it'll be Urgot top, Morgana mid, or Morgana support, and Swain mid. But we'll see.
It could be.
NTC finishing up the first set of picks with Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa will be accompanying Leona in the bot lane, as NTC is looking to ban their fourth pick here, which is Zac. The blobby boy, no. I like the blobby boy. He makes me happy. Any heroes that synergize with really high health pools, I'm a fan of.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mundo,
It's a nice play.
Zac, Singed to a certain extent.
Swain actually kind of does in a way.
Yeah. Hecarim ban from Cornell here. Keep that out of the hands of Queen Shyvana this time around. And Yone will be the final ban for NTC.
Yeah, they did not like that Yone, that's for sure, because it would always catch him just barely on that ult.
Yeah, that Yone was putting in quite a lot of value for Cornell in that last game, making sure to kind of go in slightly after the fight starts, isolate a squishy, usually Jhin, and make short work of him before his return dash, and then just take the return. Cornell banning out the Olaf. Strange. Maybe they're in a position where they know what Olaf is capable of, and they just don't want to see him played against them if they're not going to use him. But at the same time, I don't think we have any Olaf mains for NTC, so a decent ban for NTC that they don't really have to worry about too much.
Now I'm wondering if Queen Shyvana is going to play Shyvana.
I hope so. I want to see that happen. And Queen Shyvana came in as the ADC, man. I want to see her play some Shyvana, or see him play some Shyvana rather. The person behind the computer is male. I found that out.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, most people in the esports scene are, but it's never good to assume.
Nope.
Anyways, Cornell picks up Pantheon and Taliyah as their fourth and final picks here, while NTC will take Annie. Ooh, an old Airbender special that I haven't gotten to see for a while. Oh, I want to watch Airbender just pop off on Annie. Let's go. Also, Shyvana or Queen Shyvana is playing Shyvana. Yes.
So I'm curious on who. I guess Urgot is going to be played in bot lane. It looks like potentially as their ADC, or they might go with the mage. Go old
is
school,
really
old school
weird.
with having your mage carrier, magic carrier, or whatever in the bot lane with your support.
Yeah. This is interesting. This is a very interesting team. All right, Cornell. I'm into this. I like weird stuff. Let's go. I can see the synergies between Swain and Morgana. Swain just needs them to be rooted in order to pull them. So if Morgana hits them with her Dark Binding, he can pull and then follow that up with his own snare, which can just keep one mobile target locked down quite a while. The thing is, they're against a Leona, so Leona can still use her Zenith Blade even while snared. So that's going to kind of be rough for them. Plus, Kai'Sa is somewhat mobile. At least she has long range. And she can follow up pretty decently if Leona manages to land something. So we'll see how this goes. Only time will tell. But this is certainly a unique strategy. I like unique strategies. We do have about 2.5 to 3 minutes here before the action will really get kicked off. So, like usual, if you need some water, need to stretch, maybe you need a snack, go do that now. Take these 2 minutes to do something kind to yourself and to your body.
Yeah, I'm
'Cause
gonna
it's
go
important.
get myself a snack.
Yeah, you do that. I'm going to go ahead and put us into a brief intermission while this finalizes. I'm going to go get myself something to drink, and we will be right back. All right, and we are back. The spectator delay just finished up. So we'll be getting into the actual game here pretty quick.
And I am back just in the nick of time.
Welcome back. All right, get things sped up. Scoreboard. There we go. So early on here, we see NTC spreading out for a relatively defensive jungle start for the pregame, but it looks like Cornell might be going for an early aggression in the top side jungle, looking to maybe ambush and take a level 1 kill. They've certainly got a very powerful level 1 team, as Ornn gets spot out. He's trying to run. Morgana misses her stun, or her root. Thankfully, Pantheon gets the stun. They dive the tower, and they do manage to get the first blood on Ornn. They spent a lot to get there, though. Cornell now just recalling across the board, taking that quick kill. Thankfully, all they lost was the first blood on that. Ornn will be back in lane before any of the minions get there, so he'll still be able to get his farm on. Alrighty. Blue buff comes out. Both sides start taking their jungle camps. And we'll see a pretty standard start of any league game here. Teams will spread out to the 3 lanes, get their XP, get their gold, make their numbers bigger, and then they go boom. Not a whole lot of scrapping going on in these first couple minutes here other than that engage. Looks like Urgot's trying to get very aggressive against Ornn. Urgot is a very oppressive top lane opponent to be against. He's able to kind of consistently put out a lot of damage. Plus, he's kind of ranged. It's short range, but he is still kind of ranged, which is better than melee. So that means he can hit you when you can't hit him when you're against him. So that's always a struggling point in that melee versus ranged in a lane. NTC is managing to get some good pushing done on the bot lane. It looks like Cornell is going to be kind of highlighting Swain as their ability power carry this game. I think they are hoping for Urgot to get up online in the late game as their AD carry source, but it could also be Pantheon as well. We'll see. This does put NTC in kind of a weird position, though, because their entire team is very caster-focused. Even Urgot and Pantheon, while being a lot of AD, are caster-heavy heroes. Ooh, a nice flash from Annie might keep her safe. Ooh, just barely she manages to get out. Nice play from Airbender. Excuse me.
NTC backing up on that bot lane because they know that someone's coming down, it seems like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that root and pull on Empower almost spells defeat, but a well-timed flash from Leona in an absolute get-down Mr. President moment is going to keep him up. Unfortunately, they don't know that Talia's right behind them, ready to dive the tower, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Empower goes down, and Cornell walks out with no deaths. Looks like something similar might be happening on top lane as well. Maybe not. Ooh, nice knock-up from Ornn as he keeps Urgot in position for Queen Shyvana to follow up. She is there, but she doesn't have her ulti, which means she's very slow and can't quite catch up to him to do any damage. Cornell starting out this early game very oppressive. Oh, another root pull from Swain.
Yeah,
Get some damage off on Kaisa.
Thing is, though, they're slowly running out of mana, so the longer they stay, the less they're going to have in their reserves.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, at this point, they've gotten so much gold from their items, from the kills, that they're probably looking to go back here pretty soon because they've got some items to buy. There's Morgana's recall coming out and Swain's recall coming out. Alright, with them safely out of lane, this means that Hovenorth and Empower can just kind of freely farm this bot lane. Depending on how well they push, they might be able to take this front, well, not take the front tower, but they might be able to start evening out this lane. Instead, it looks like Shyvana and them are going to go for an early dragon. It's a bold move here. They didn't exactly have a lot to push on in that bot lane anyways because it was underneath their tower. So that was a good use of that downtime to go and take out that dragon. Now all of NTC can benefit from faster ultis.
Especially the Annie.
Yeah, especially the Annie.
That's going to be really mean.
NTC keeping up the pressure on bot lane, trying to starve out this Swain as best as they can. Morgana now in the wings. Posturing to try and do something aggressive here. Managing to get some damage out on Empower using that pool. Ooh, looks like Shyvana might be headed top after those Krugs? Yeah, Krugs. Oh, big ult from Pantheon into the bot lane. Hovenorth using his Zenith Blade as a pseudo flash to close the distance from being very much in danger to less in danger. Unfortunately, it still means that Hovenorth goes down and Cornell walks away with no deaths once again. But here's Shyvana on the top lane. She has her ulti now, able to actually engage onto the Urgot properly, and he goes down. That'll be the first kill for NTC. Cornell still off to a demanding early lead here. Looking at about a 1,500 gold lead. As we mentioned before, the gold lead here isn't necessarily super strong, but Cornell's presence has been very, very strong here. There's a momentum to just how oppressive they've been, and unless NTC can kind of shake the fears off on how they're doing well now, they're not actually that far ahead. Like, NTC still very much can make this. Talia's in a risky position, deep in NTC, well, not that deep in NTC's jungle, but in their bot jungle. It looked like she might have been trying to set up a gank for bot lane, but she just took the jungle camps and left instead. Meanwhile, back in bot, oh, couple whiffed roots will keep Leona just safe. Shyvana and Pantheon doing a little dance. But in the end, they're just going to trade a couple punches. Leave it be. Pink ward goes down. That's fine. Malphite using his ult on Urgot up top. Or not Urgot. Not Malphite. Ornn. It wasn't even his ulti. I'm still locked on last game. Using his knock-up. That's what I meant to say. Will Ornn go for the knock-up again? Maybe not. Not a whole lot going on in this early game. Both teams just trying to really farm and make sure that they can get as much gold out of their lanes as they can before they start to really take the fight to NTC. Urgot starting to gain a pretty substantial lead in the CS on top lane, but the rest of the lanes are pretty much even at this point.
I don't know if their jungler is actually going to be able to get that without some help here, it looks like.
Oh, Rift Herald? Yeah, Rift Herald can
getting
be...
a little low there. She was getting real low, but...
Thankfully, Pantheon came to make sure that happened. Talia now with the Herald buff. She's going to recall, probably gank, and look to make some value out of it. Because this Herald, if used in the next couple of minutes here, will be able to take the tower plating, which is just extra gold that disappears at either 11 or 12 minutes.
12.
Is it 12? Okay. And much like we were mentioning before with the taking the Elder Dragon buff and removing Elemental Drake, that is just value that one team has over the other that can't be recovered. So these tower plates are actually very, very important because each one of them is a little spike of gold that your team has, and unless the enemy team also pushes the tower and takes some of those plates, they can never make up that difference. They have to get like more CCs basically, or more CS. I mean. Oh, 2 of Cornell is in the bot jungle as we see the Herald getting summoned behind first tower. It looks like they're going to use this to take the first tower on bot side with tower plating still up. That's going to be a massive spike of gold for Cornell as they jump from 17.8 to 18.6 for that turret death. Getting the first turret means they get a little bit extra gold as well. And now they secured themselves a pretty solid 3.5k lead at this point. That is a decent chunk of money at any point in the game, and definitely a lead for Cornell at this point. Oh, some solid abilities coming through from Morgana to put the damage onto Annie. Thankfully she had a flash, but it was not enough. Well-timed knockback from Talia puts her right back into the Pantheon. Oh! That fireball from Queen Shyvana from downtown takes him out. I love it. Getting that little bit of a trade. Revenge for the Annie. Alright, 2 of NTC's members now rotating top to potentially help out with this Urgot, but he's in the river, and they don't know he's there. It looks like Urgot's actually going to get the jump on Leona here. Leona managing to see him with that sweeper lens keeps her relatively safe from his actual engagement there. Urgot's going to rotate back into lane to be able to deal with the Ornn. Ooh, solid combo from Swain onto the Annie, followed by a Tibbers stun. Puts Swain in a very deadly place as well. Leona now here locking down the Morgana as the Tibbers gets in there to hopefully help finish her off. Annie is still in this fight. She's actually pretty healthy. Oh, there it is. The Morgana goes down, but here comes the Pantheon to help back it up. Pantheon takes out Annie, takes out Leona. Kaisa trying to get in there to help out, but that knockback from Talia is actually going to just be her death, and that is a triple kill for Cornell. Very solid plays from Cornell. Very strong reactive ganks from Cornell as well. You know, they see somebody from NTC engage, and then they always happen to have 1 or 2 more people that are able to just react to it and follow up. I'm not sure if that's all planned on their end, because obviously we don't have access to their comms, but it's been very well executed, and this team clearly works very well together.
Turret plating will soon fall.
Queen Shyvana taking some more of her jungle, now backing. Hopefully she'll be able to get her mythic item here pretty quickly. She's got a decent amount of CS on the team, so I can imagine she's probably getting pretty close. Same with Kaisa in the bot lane and Ornn in the top lane. Right now, Cornell is looking at 3 of their 5 mythic items for their team.
Oh, it's 14 minutes, by the way, for turret plating.
Oh, for turret plating it's 14. Okay, I thought it was a weird number. Leandri's Anguish on 2 of the Cornell members here means that the relatively health-heavy team for NTC with Shyvana, Ornn, and Leona, that's going to be really, really rough. Leandri's Anguish does percentage of health damage, and it directly kind of is made to counter just stacking a ton of health. Meanwhile, Pantheon has Eclipse. Basically, all of his stuff gets armor pen, and he hits things better. Well, he gets some defenses whenever he hits something twice. NTC kind of grouping up mid, as Talia is looking for something to do in NTC's bot side jungle. Wolves did just come up. Oh, another play engagement here onto the Airbender in mid lane. He goes down, but NTC is following up, and Tibbers is angry. He does as much as he can to try and take out the Swain, but it does end up working. However, Shyvana goes down, and so does Leona. That's going to be a 3-for-1 in favor of Cornell, as Pantheon hard engages onto Empower here, but Empower doesn't have anywhere safe to go. The rest of Cornell's team is already under that tower, and Empower goes down as well. It is now can't be stopped as Ornn 1v4 here in the mid lane. It looks like Cornell might actually just back out maybe take an objective instead of trying to overstay their welcome. Probably Rift Herald. Alright, Cornell makes pretty quick work of that Rift Herald there. Talia picking up the buff now and headed towards top. I would not be surprised. Yep, she's going to drop it right away since there's nobody in top lane for NTC, and he's on the way. But since there's nobody in top lane for NTC, they're just kind of hoping that that Rift Herald will just take the tower on its own. That's pretty much going to be exactly what happens. Meanwhile, down near Dragon, we've got some abilities being thrown out by both sides as Cornell is now setting up for the Dragon fight itself. NTC unfortunately only has 3 members down here as Morgana snares the Leona, and they manage to take the Dragon. NTC trying to clear out some of all this vision that they've had this entire time. Some of Cornell's vision, I should say. Once again, you know, NTC not having a ton of vision where they need it through most of this game. And Cornell is able to just, you know, put them in the impactful positions to catch them out when they need to catch them out. Alright, a little bit of a lull in the action here. Hovenorth looking to try and find anything in the jungle, whether it be a member of Cornell or some wards. Meanwhile, Airbender, though, getting quite a few abilities thrown out at him. Manages to avoid most of it. A nice flash keeps him away from Pantheon as well. Now NTC has 3 in the mid lane as Cornell looks to bring their full 5 in for this fight. Kaisa might be trying to do some flanky-panky, but I don't think it's going to work out. Instead, Kaisa's actually in a rough place to potentially be collapsed on as Cornell is getting into position to take the blue buff here. Cornell now looking to rotate to the bot side as Leona is coming in to try and back this up just a little bit. She clears out that ward. Cornell sees that the rest of NTC has reacted, and they are going to just back out. Cornell maybe re-engaging here as NTC tries to get a little aggressive. Oh, a nice knockback on Leona. Pulls her right back into the team. Morgana and Annie dropping. Pantheon and Leona dropping. It's happening in tandems, folks. We'll see what happens here. Talia goes down. Cornell's still looking pretty strong here. Oh, and the Urgot goes down. NTC managing to take the ace. Just barely. Good job.
Man, with that, that's gonna make it so that NTC can definitely clap back, because they were down quite a bit of gold, and now they're just gonna be able to push lanes and get some income in.
Mm-hmm. All those
the other
bounties.
team is just sitting there.
Yeah, all those bounties that they just claimed equaled extra gold. Whenever you go on a kill streak in this game, you get an ever-increasing bounty up to a certain amount. And when you die, the enemy player who killed you gets that money. And I think a portion of it is split to people who assisted as well. But now we finally see Kaisa with her completed mythic item. That's going to be a very large power shift for her. And maybe NTC can still pull this one out. They're about 5k behind here, which is not impossible. 4 kills down, 3 towers down. This is still anybody's game, but Cornell is still very much in the lead here. And unless NTC can start building some fights in their favor, I don't know if they're going to be able to turn this around. We'll see.
looks like Cornell is getting wards in place for Baron ahead of time.
Baron is up right now, so they want to at the very least make sure that they know everything going on in and around that Baron pit. Because if they're looking to take it themselves, they want to make sure that they're not going to be caught off. But if they see NTC going for it, they want to make sure they know as soon as they are committed to it, so they can try and get there and stop it. So far, Pantheon is in the bot lane, just trying to defend the tower, while most of Cornell is either backing or mid. Looks like Urgot getting some vision onto the Dragon Pit. It's going to be up in about 26 seconds here. NTC actually grouping and looking to take Dragon. Getting spot out by some Cornell wards. Cornell now reacting to it. Ooh, NTC in a rough place as one of their escapes gets cut off. Fight starts, abilities come out, and we're seeing all kinds of damage going in as Ornn and Leona are the first to fall. Morgana drops as well. Airbender followed up to go down. Kaisa trying to do her best, manages to get the Urgot. But now it's just Shyvana 1v3. We'll see what she's able to do here. She's trying to follow up on Talia, it looks like, potentially. Or maybe just looking for some wards. I'm not really sure. But Cornell coming out the clear victor in that fight. And it looks like they're going to take that opportunity to just claim this next Earth Dragon for themselves. There we go. That's the second Earth Dragon for Cornell now. Of course, giving him that extra armor and magic resist. It's also the third elemental dragon buff, so if Cornell gets this next dragon in about 5 minutes here, that will lock NTC out of all of those elemental dragon buffs that they could get, all of the Earth Dragon buffs specifically. Both teams just doing a little bit of regrouping, trying to make sure they're on top of whatever they can be on top of. Leona getting some extra vision there in the jungle. It looks like Cornell might be trying to prep for Baron here, or if nothing else, they're going to bait the Baron and maybe pick a fight. Meanwhile, Leona and Shyvana may be looking for wards, might be looking for players off on their own to try and 1v2. They do see the Swain, but they decide not to go in on it. It's a little too risky. They can't see the rest of the team. They don't know if they're hiding just outside. But they do have a pretty clear indication of where 3 of them are now, which means Pantheon's probably alone. We see Hovenorth and Airbender rushing up top to potentially help against the Pantheon, but they can't get there in time, and Cornell is able to move and adjust accordingly. Urgot in a very isolated position. If NTC can follow up on that, that would be the way to turn this next fight into a 5v4 at Baron, and hopefully swing it in NTC's direction. But this Urgot, he's doing a ton of damage to that tower. Kaisa's going to try and finish him off, but Talia is here now. And Talia herself does a ton of damage. Oh no! Empower tries, but he can't quite drop the Talia. Urgot cleans up the kill, and that makes this a 5v4 in favor of Cornell. We'll see if Cornell is looking to do anything with that, or if Urgot and Talia are just going to recall, and they're going to keep playing it safe. Cornell now sporting an 7k gold lead. That is a lot of money, that is a lot of items, and it's a lot of power. So Cornell is just very strong right now compared to where NTC is at. And NTC is going to need to work double time in order to kind of clean up that difference.
It looks like NTC is trying to get ready for Baron, or prevent them, Cornell, from getting it.
Yeah, they're at least trying to keep eyes on it. Unfortunately, they got spot out by the scrying fruit, or whatever it is. I can't remember the name of that thing. Cornell now has wards all over Baron, and it looks like they're starting it. NTC not in a position to be able to contest this anymore. Annie is recalling. Leona and Ornn are still in courtyard. Kaisa and Shyvana doing their own thing. This is going to be a free and easy kill for Cornell to just take Baron. Alright, that's the Baron for Cornell. Morgana using that buff to get back to base real quick. Make a few purchases before regrouping. Cornell now definitely wants to try and either pick a fight or split to as many lanes as they can and exert some really solid pressure, because that Baron buff, you just need one person with it near the minions to enhance all of them in the area. And so if they can spread out and go one to each lane, they can get that really powerful minion siege effect as long as they stay alive. Dang, a big combo from NTC is going to allow them to catch the Talia out and knock her down, which means she no longer has the Baron buff. But we see Cornell waiting in the wings of this fight here, maybe looking to engage if they push a little bit farther in, but NTC is not going to. They're going to take the turret, get the win, and leave. See Cornell looking to prep this dragon here, spawning in about 10 seconds. If they can get this dragon, it will lock NTC out of any of these defensive Mountain Drake buffs and will just put Cornell in a very tanky position when compared to NTC, which means NTC needs that much more damage to get through it, and unfortunately damage means gold, and they are behind in that front as well. Ooh, a solid engagement from NTC onto Pantheon, has him very low. Pantheon goes down, but so does Shyvana, as the dust is still going on here. We see a couple more kills coming through. Urgot putting out the damage, but he falls in the end. Ornn and Shyvana fall for NTC, while only Talia survives for Cornell. And it looks like NTC might actually be able to get this dragon.
Yeah, they probably shouldn't. They gotta get their jungler, because that jungler is just gonna jump in and just smite it.
Yeah, they have to be very careful about Talia coming in and taking the smite steal here. Which, there she is. She's in the fight, and smite. Yeah, unfortunately, NTC didn't have any stuns ready to go to lock her down towards the end there. NTC got the ace for it, but the trade-off is now they are locked out of any of those Drake buffs. This is, you know, that was the best thing Talia could have done there, honestly. Even dying for it, that was worth. Both teams now just taking a little bit to regroup. Just getting some more gold. We've got a few people on Cornell's team with some pretty powerful items now. Nobody's getting super close to full build yet. I would say Urgot's the closest, but he's not quite there. Meanwhile, Shyvana actually doing quite a lot to keep the CS nice and high. Same with Kai'Sa. Oh, and this Morgana's in a rough way, and she doesn't know it. She just walked into the bad neighborhood, and the Timberwolves control this. She gets... yeah, that's a lot of abilities thrown out, and Morgana goes down. Free kill for NTC. Kai'Sa has to use a flash to escape Urgot bot, but that's fine. She lived, and that's exactly what flash is for. NTC still down about 6,500 here. But still not out of this. They're only down 2 kills, and they're only down 2 towers. Really where they're missing right now is all of the CS. There's not a whole lot they can do to make up that ground, because once they've missed a minion, it never comes back. But they can still turn this... they're not that far behind power-wise, other than like the gold that I mentioned. But if they can get some structures, if they can get cheeky, and if they can get some picks, which is all going to come down to vision. They really need the vision here, because they need to try and find those isolated targets, because Cornell has been a lot of isolated targets for most of this game. And unfortunately, NTC's vision has just been such that they haven't been able to locate when they are properly isolated. So like right now, Pantheon was isolated, and NTC tried to react to it, but they weren't able to get there in time. Both teams kind of grouping around this mid area-ish.
Orn just upgrading Kai'Sa's weapon.
Ooh, yeah. That'll be very good, giving Empower some extra attack speed and extra attack damage for his passive. Has he upgraded anybody else? More stats for Orn.
Shyvana.
More stats for Shiv. Alright, so it's just Annie and Leona who haven't been upgraded yet. Alright, Cornell prepping this Baron pit, making sure that there are no NTC wards around here. NTC, however, knows that their wards have just been swiped, so they need to be very careful here when Baron comes up, that they either get some vision down to try and steal it, or just stop the fight from happening altogether.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Cornell still up by about 4k. No, I had that backwards. We're up by 6k. Alright, Cornell now moving into position to start Baron. They're going to clear out the NTC ward first. Oh, or they're just trying to bait it. I think they're just trying to bait it, actually. NTC getting into position. They might take the bait, but they are a 5v4 here as Urgot is bot lane. He does have teleport ready.
3v5, because Pantheon's up top right now, busy.
Yes, but Pantheon is close enough to ult in, and Urgot can teleport in. So this is still pretty close to a 5v5. Orn now reacting to head bot and try and deal with the Urgot. He also has his teleport active, so if things go south, he can be there relatively quickly. But NTC is now down Shyvana in this fight. She's getting back into position. Cornell still nicely grouped around this Baron pit. They're going to take that ward, but once again, they're just trying to bait this, I think. Oh no, they're actually going for the Baron now. We'll see if NTC tries to get over there and spot this out, but they're making very quick work of this Baron. He's going down fast. Hovenorth gets a ward over the wall. We see the teleport coming in from Orn as Queen Shyvana gets the Pantheon. That's very big. NTC now in control of this Baron pit. If Talia is able to get in here and smite steal it, this would be pretty devastating, but NTC manages to get the Baron. Urgot taking an inhibitor for it. Not sure if worth. I think it was still worth.
I would say it's worth, because NTC now can just split push and push really hard and keep that pressure that they were not able to keep applying on the enemy team. So
yeah, the issue with that is Cornell is very far ahead. Split pushing is a very risky, very aggressive move because you need to be able to either escape or survive an encounter with multiple enemies. So right now what they need to do is exactly what they're doing, group on a lane and push. They've picked bot lane because Urgot was there. They're going to be able to get a kill for this before they even start pushing. Now, NTC is looking at best, a 5v4 with Orn in the area. This will now allow them to continue the pressure on this bot lane and siege it well with the minions while having less to deal with in the form of a potential team fight. Oh, a solid fireball from Shyvana connects with two people, puts them in dangerous positions. NTC trying to capitalize on it. Unfortunately, Kai'Sa takes one too many shots from the tower and goes down. This is a 1-for-1 on both sides so far. Queen Shyvana in a rough place, flashing over the wall to stay alive. This Elder Dragon is pulled, though, and doing damage. If Shyvana is going to try and fight this, she needs to try and fight this now, which it looks like she might be. Cornell is not letting this go down without a fight, though, as Swain tries to posture for vision for Talia. Pantheon coming in to try and kill Shyvana before she can smite it, but she smites it, she gets the Elder Dragon. Swain goes down, Pantheon goes down, Morgana goes down. 4 of NTC members still up and on this Urgot. Shyvana in low dire straits. She's running. She manages to get some fruit, and she's feeling all right. And that is an ace for NTC, and they get the Elder Dragon. They need to really start pushing hard here. They need to get some structures, they need to get some minions, and they need to start reversing this momentum shift. They're now even in gold, which is fantastic. They're ahead in kills, which is awesome. They're still down in structures, though. If they can get those structures, that's going to be a massive gold spike that will just lead to, hopefully, a late-game snowball. The thing is, they need to get in there and start taking those structures before Cornell responds. And unfortunately, they're all back up pretty much right now.
Yeah, but they do still have that Baron buff and Dragon buff now, too. So they're just a deadly combo. And Cornell's probably not going to want to be even anywhere close to NTC right now.
Yeah, this is a very difficult fight for Cornell to fight here just because of those buffs, and they are on relatively equal footing at this point. Oh, lag. Rip. Quick game pause. Man, I was ready to discredit NTC, but once again, Timberwolves keep surprising me. I need to stop not believing in our team. Like, I know that sounds messed up, but like I don't know. I'm kind of a realist. When I see a 7K gold lead and, you know, several kills and several map objectives and
well, that's when you gotta
4 to
straighten
1
out,
elemental dragons.
Get out of that slouching position, you know, straighten out that bag, get
out of
sweaty.
the gamer position and get into the I'm actually trying position.
Yeah, I'm getting sweaty position.
Yeah, NTC though, if nothing else, they're very good at being the underdog. They, like, when their backs are up against a wall, that's when they perform the best. And time and time again, you know, this is how a lot of games go. They show maybe some decent life in the early game, mid game is and then late game they are able to come back again and really, really shine. So hopefully we can get this game underway again shortly. I'm excited to see how this one ends. Hey, there's the reconnect. We got ours on both sides. Oh, let's look at some of these items here. Shyvana now sporting a full build. Kaisa shortly there behind. Not quite. She actually still needs another item after that. Urgot very close to his own full build. Same with Talia. Pantheon, I'm assuming, is going to sell that potion. So he's very close as well. So really the only person in the game right now is Queen Shyvana with a with a completed item in every slot. So we'll see if Queen Shyvana is going to continue to try and focus on making money, or if she's going to open that up to the rest of NTC to be able to get as far as like the jungle minions are concerned. Right now she's trying to split push bot lane to help exert some spread pressure. Now that NTC is ahead, they can pretty safely make those plays. Unfortunately, that is a 5v4 engagement on the mid line with a solid wall from Talia, keeping NTC locked in a place they don't want to be. Annie is brought down fairly quickly here as Leona dies as well. This fight's awfully scrappy. Not a whole lot coming out here. Oh, Talia ends up falling to the Shyvana as 4 of NTC is now collapsing hard onto the Urgot. They have to commit everyone to taking down that raid boss of a character. Morgana now just trying to create some distance and stay alive as NTC pushes this mid lane with fervor. They don't even need the minions. They're going right for the tower. It goes down. Horn's going to back out because he's super low, but NTC, they take that mid inhib, and that's a secure win for them. Man, fantastic play there from NTC. That was a really, really solid engagement from Cornell. And NTC was just able to kite to keep them away from doing, any significant damage early on. Unfortunately, Annie was kind of blown up by all that CC. But once all that CC got used on Annie, they didn't have any more to use on the Kaisa or the Shyvana. And they came in, they did their damage, and that's what won that fight. Cornell now kind of around the mid lane. Both teams really just kind of split out, trying to find their ways to make their gold. We see Annie now very close to full build as well. Same with Kaisa. The important thing about these characters reaching full build is once they have an item in every slot that's completed, unless they plan on switching out any of those items situationally, that is the most powerful that character can get in this game. So right now, the only things that can help Shyvana get stronger are Elder Dragon buff, Red and Blue Dragon buff, or Baron buff. So with that happening, she will now plateau. Which means that Cornell can still try and continue to catch up to the value that she is bringing to her team. Right now, Shyvana is probably unaware that there is a 1v5 brewing not in her favor up here at Baron. Cornell is trying to make short work of this, but Shyvana is going to try and disrupt it as much as she can so that NTC can get here and help back up this fight. Baron is now at half, as NTC is looking to actually push this fight now. Shyvana going in hard as the damage comes out. We see Urgot getting blown up pretty early, but he's a raid boss. He is just not going down. Finally, he does. Urgot goes down. Pantheon goes down. Swain goes down. Shyvana did fall as well. Morgana goes down. Is NTC going to be able to get the ace here? Oh, maybe, maybe not. Kaisa is on Talia right now, but Talia is very quick. Can Kaisa catch up? The flash over the wall is going to guarantee the kill for NTC. They are just going to push in now and probably take the structures. They've got super minions pushing on the towers already. Kaisa can make short work of structures. Here it is. This is game. And NTC takes the victory for game number 2. Go Timberwolves!
Best of 2. So we got one more match.
Insert cheesy, corny howl here. Ooh.
Oh, wait.
Wrong game. Man, that game was awesome. Oh, NTC, you surprise me all the time. Thank you. I love it. These games are so cool. All right, looking over at the graphs here, we see Shyvana, easily the MVP of that last game. She rolled in so much damage, it was almost as much as the first 1 and 2 damage dealers for Cornell combined. That is impressive how much damage she was able to put out. Man, AP Shyvana back with a fervor with these new items, I guess. I hadn't had a chance to really test it out or like play it yet, but I think I need to look back into that because I've always loved the AP Shyvana gameplay style, and if Queen Shyvana showed me anything, it's that it's definitely viable and very powerful now. It could just be that, you know, Queen Shyvana is a very skilled Shyvana player. Doesn't necessarily need a particular build to win or not, but that was still awesome. It's a fantastic game from both sides, too. Cornell coming up real hard in the early game, putting out a ton of pressure and really almost winning the game before it even took off. But NTC was able to just, you know, weather the storm and barely made it out on the other end. All right, we'll finish getting this lobby all squared away, and we'll get into the next pick and ban set. Oh, man. Well, I guess we'll see how this next game goes. I wasn't expecting this to go to a game 3, but, boy, sign me right up. There we go. Alrighty. So it looks like both teams are in. Both teams are arranged. We are just waiting for the readies from both sides. Alright, we got the ready out from Cornell. Get the ready out from NTC here, hopefully shortly. All right, and we're into the picks and bans phase. Oops. Let's do this. All right, so we've got Cornell with the Rengar ban to start us off. NTC responding with an Udyr ban. I don't think I've
They have
seen
not
Udyr
want that
ban
Udyr on in play. This map at
Yeah,
all.
yeah, they've just not wanted to let him show his face at all. I'm not sure if Cornell is maybe particularly gifted or not. I'm not sure. But Cornell comes out with that Shyvana ban. I'm willing to bet they looked at the graphs, not even just feeling it. They looked at the graph and said, yeah, no, we can't let that happen again.
Yeah, NTC was just like, no, we don't need to see that Seraphine again either, so...
Yeah, right? I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit. Swain comes in as the third ban for Cornell.
They said this time we're not going to use them. We can't do it, it seems like, because I'll say it. I felt like the Swain wasn't as very good for Cornell as it was for NTC.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Cornell taking the Leona this time. Interesting. They kind of seem to just be rotating to whatever NTC's support was last game.
Yeah, but the problem is there's so many champs in this game that you can kind of have at least 2 to 3 different choices.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Malphite and... question mark?
Oh, you think what I'm thinking's gonna happen?
I doubt it.
Oh,
That would
come
be
on.
rough.
Come on, Queen. Oh, instead they wanted to make sure they didn't get misfortune instead of the playing Vayne.
Well, I don't... The thing is, Queen Shyvana's on jungle right now. And I don't know how valid jungle Vayne is.
Well, I was gonna say, can you swap mid-time?
I don't
Pre-game?
think so.
Oh, dang. Well,
Because, like, then what, would Empower go on jungle? A role that he has had no practice on with the team?
oh well.
Anywho, we've got Ornn come in as the second pick for Cornell here, starting off with a very beefy team. Very CC-heavy team, too.
Yeah, they liked what NTC did, so they're gonna be like, hey, let's use what they did.
And there it is. They picked the Twitch. I was sitting here going, which super squishy hypercarrier are they going to pick? You don't pick this much beef and this much CC without planning for a hypercarry. So, they got Twitch. We'll be seeing the stealthy rat boy himself. Meanwhile, Airbender picking Ari here, it looks like. Nope, Orianna. We're going to see the wonderful classic Orianna Malphite combos that NTC kind of made their name with last year. So we'll see if that can carry through then into this game as they ban out Zoe. Cornell bans out Morgana. NTC's fifth ban, then coming back around to...
Drum roll, please.
Yeah. Really thinking about that one, and the answer is Yone! Not surprised. Yone is very oppressive on his own, but when given to a player that is very, very skilled at Yone, it's even worse.
Oh, yeah.
Getting rid of the Hecarim, trying to really cut down on Queen Shyvana's jungling options here. Maybe hoping to win this game via a superior jungler who can just kind of keep ganking and keep that presence up. We'll see what happens. Rel is made as the fourth pick for NTC, so probably their support.
Rel's usually is mostly played in support lanes, so yes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Cornell, on their fourth and fifth picks, we're looking at My eyes being completely covered on camera. Lol. Nivea. Again, more peel for both herself and the rat. But it's the fifth one that I'm mostly interested in here. Are they going to go with another third durable front line with some CC, which I think is the safer option here? They've got two very strong late game carries. Or are they going to try and split the difference a little bit? They're going to split the difference a little bit. He's got some CC. He's got decent damage. He's very beefy. All right. Cornell has quite the formidable team here. It's very much a team focused on synergistic play together between the teammates. And that is something so far that Cornell has been able to execute very well. NTC, on the other hand, is looking for more of a wombo combo focused team. This is something that NTC has done very well in the past, and we'll see how well it goes for them here. It's a J4 in the jungle for Queen Shyvana. Ooh, yeah. J4 is an oppressive monster who can do a surprising amount of burst damage with his first auto attack on a target every 5 or 7 seconds, something like that. So his ability to come in, hit you once on a gank with a little bit of a knock-up can really, honestly, just be the end of that gank, and you're down.
Devastating. You're usually ending up at half or 2/3 at most, unless you're probably the Anivian Twitch, which you're probably going to be, well, dead.
Yeah, and at that point, too, you have whoever's in the lane to help follow up. Jarvan's ganks are very, very strong and rarely don't result in a kill, especially if he's going to be camping mid lane. He can get through Anivia's wall, and Anivia has no movement speed or any significant abilities to really slow down Jarvan too well. So we'll see if Queen Shyvana just sets a tent up mid, because Anivia is basically free farm for Jarvan. Olaf is a little more rough because he can be deceptively tanky through sustain. Ornn is going to be tough because he is just beefy, same with Leona. And Twitch, while it is difficult for him to use it in combat, he can use his stealth, and Jarvan will have next to no way to spot him out. So J4 got to pick his ganks very, very carefully here. Make sure that either abilities are down if he's ganking anywhere but mid. Otherwise, yeah, I think this is going to be a rough game for Anivia, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, there's also a thing with Twitch. You could just keep a pink ward. Someone in your party just keeps a pink ward just for him, and then you'll be able to see him. But it's still not as much vision as coverage versus a group of 5 people pushing or waving through, because you can see him at a certain point when you're close enough. So that's the downfall with his stealth. It used to be you could just be stealth for the whole game, or most of the game, and then.
Well, the thing is, his stealth now also increases his movement speed too. So.
Yeah. I think that was the same. It's been like that for quite some time, I want to say.
Yeah. Ever since they changed Expunge to Contaminate, I think is what they call it now. I still call it Expunge. I learned to play Twitch back in like season 4, so it's gonna forever be Expunge to me.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Well, we've got about another minute and a half or so before this game kicks off, so a little bit of time to get up and do some stretches, get some water, get a snack, use the restroom, what have you. We'll be getting started here pretty quickly for the deciding match between Cornell and NTC. It's do or die for both teams here at a 1-1. So, come on, Timberwolves! Bring your first match win. I believe in you. I believe. Jarvan, actually, like, kind of going back to analyzing this a little bit more, Cornell wants to keep NTC at a distance so that their hyper carries can be protected by the beefy front line and all the CC that Cornell has planned. But NTC has Orianna and Malphite and Jarvan and MF. All of them are capable of, in some way or another, just assaulting the backline and ignoring anything else. So NTC might actually have the perfect team to be able to deal with this very much protect the carry comp. These comps tend to run a little bit closer together in formation, which will also help NTC just land massive combos. So Cornell needs to not be super grouped in these fights, which means less opportunity for the tanks to be able to peel for the ADCs. But, you know, if Cornell's positioning is really good, then it won't matter. But we'll find out here soon enough as we go into the live gameplay here. Get all this set up for us here. And we're good. Alright, looks like both teams are spreading out to do a fairly defensive jungle protection to start out here. Which means we're just going to see a lot of people standing around in bushes and waiting.
Looks like NTC is just scared off the Olaf for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Looking to throw out some of their cheaper abilities here just to let Cornell know that they're there and they're ready to fight if something goes down. But nothing's gonna go down. Both teams now moving off to their respective buffs to start their junglers off. And then we'll be into the early game of League of Legends.
That one ward near the Raptors just nearly got taken out by Leona because of her
shield
Q.
slam. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she used an ability just to try to get it. No one was able to follow up with another attack to get rid of it. So that's going to be good for NTC to keep vision on Cornell.
Mm-hmm. They'll be able to at least see when Olaf is transitioning to his topside jungle and when he is taking his Raptors, which will be very valuable for Orianna to not get picked. NTZ coming out with a lot of aggression on the bot lane and managing to put a ton of damage into Leona. Leona now in a rough place as she flashes over the wall. Ignite goes out onto Rel. Rel is going to survive. And now bot lane for Cornell is down all but Twitch's flash, while NTC is down all but MF's flash. Oh, that max range Zenith Blade from Leona is going to lock the Rel in place, but it's not going to be enough to finish her off. Leona now running pretty scared. She's quite low as MF is looking for a sick double up to maybe finish her off. Rel potentially also looking to just engage onto the Leona. Nice knock up from Cornell's Ornn onto Malphite, but doesn't quite get a whole lot. Just your typical scrappy, back and forth, early game League of Legends play. Leona now being forced to back. She's gotten very low with all of the pressure coming out from NTC. If NTC can capitalize on this, then they might be able to kill Twitch before Leona gets back, but Twitch is playing it very safe underneath his tower, and he's just not going to give him the opportunity.
Looks like NTC's getting ready to get that scuttle for that dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Get that vision, that movement speed, so that way everyone can get down to bot lane, or they can go to mid lane and move quickly enough.
If nothing else, it's a early vision for dragon. Although wait, they didn't even.
Nope, they didn't get it.
They didn't kill it. Okay, strange. Maybe everybody thought the other one wanted it more. Ooh, I just noticed a double dive on the tower top lane here against Malphite. He is gonna fall. Ornn taking a bit of damage from the tower, but because he hadn't done any damage to Malphite up until that point, he had actually not been hit by that. And instead of dying pretty early, he just went down to very low and managed to make it out. So that'll be first blood in favor of Cornell. as we're rounding the 5-ish minute mark here. We've got a little bit of CS lead developing in the mid and bot lane for NTC, with a little bit of a CS lead for the top lane for Cornell. Not super significant yet, you know, it's a very small margin, but it does exist. Ooh, a nice knockup from Ornn once again to go in and do some damage to Malphite, but thanks to his little passive shield, he doesn't take as much as he could have. However, Ornn's still following up and doing a plenty damage.
Olaf looking to try to, looks like, get ready for a gank maybe bot lane. He's been watching it for quite some time.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to instead take Krugs and Raptors, then maybe look for something else. He might be trying to back up mid lane as well. NTC still exerting a ton of pressure on bot lane. Not really giving him an inch. But Twitch is able to keep up in the CS just as well. That little bit of a lead that I talked about earlier, not really growing for NTC in the bot lane, but it is growing in the mid lane. Airbender doing a great job of making sure to hit all those minions as they die, getting that gold. Meanwhile, Anivia just seems to be missing the mark a little bit. Maybe it's through zoning pressure from Orianna. J4 now in the top lane with a very pushed Malphite. Will he follow up on it and try to get the kill? We see Olaf in the topside river entering NTC's jungle. And it looks like Malphite is recalling. So no gank from J4 as J4 is also trying to recall. Ooh, barely gets missed by that scrying berry. I should look that up. Scry Bloom, I think, might be what it's called. Can I? Darn. Well, let me look at it. Well. What if it's in... Haha, Scryer's Bloom. That's what it's called. That was close.
It's something scry, right?
I knew Scry was in there. That was the one thing that I was for sure of. I just didn't know what version of plant word they wanted.
It looks like Cornell is trying to go for that dragon.
And it looks like they're going to take it pretty much uncontested. NTC did not have the vision to even notice what was going on, and Cornell made short work of that dragon, claiming a ulti cooldown reduction. Again, a lot of scrappiness on all the lanes, but not a lot of kills. We saw that one first blood for Cornell, and then beyond that, no one's really gotten dangerous yet. Malphite's now at half health, which is kind of dangerous, but he's still fine. He's still a very beefy boy. Meanwhile, NTC's CS lead in the mid lane has still continued to grow. Things are still pretty much even in the bot lane. Same with, actually no, Ornn's lead is growing in the top lane as well. Ooh, nice knock up from Ornn. Just a little bit too close, ends up taking a tower shot. I think NTC either knows or senses that the Olaf is there with how aggressive the bot lane just got. But Olaf is now gone. So NTC is safe once more. Kind of. Queen Shyvana in the mid lane, looking to gank the Anivia, but he was standing on a ward. So he clears the ward, and now he's going to go, looks like take Herald. Ornn is in the area, though, and J4 does not know that. Here comes the Olaf as well. Queen Shyvana now looking to be in a rough place as Orianna comes to back him up. Can't be stopped here now as well, scaring the Ornn completely out of the fight as J4 presses on for the fight. There comes 2 ultis, and Ornn is down. Rift Herald is still pulled here. If NTC can fall back and kind of focus on this while Can't Be Stopped keeps Olaf away. Unfortunately, it reset, and now is probably not the greatest time to try and go for it anymore. Olaf does have Smite. They're going to try it. J4 is there. Yeah, it looks like Olaf is just going to back out. Despite having the superior Smite here, he could have stolen it.
There was just too many people around, though, to not make it worth, and he was only there by himself. So.
A risky engagement from Leona is going to put her right in Death's way as Rel engages onto her. Unfortunately, it doesn't result in a kill just yet, as the bot lane is trying to follow up on the Twitch now. They're both so low, as Rel is hoping to get either one of these. Instead, manages to find the Twitch. That is perfectly fine. The Twitch goes down. I think Leona's going to end up surviving here, but she's posturing weirdly. Trying to force Rel into committing maybe under the tower, I'm not sure. But she is recalling now and just getting out. NTC finally evening up the kill difference here, and the gold difference is about the same as it always was. Mid lane has stayed about the same since we last saw. NTC has gained somewhat of an advantage bot lane, and Malphite's managed to clear up that CS differential in top lane as well. Olaf now in the bot lane flashes to try and get onto the MF. He manages to land the attack that kills her. Rel now just trying to get out of this fight, using her engagement ability to actually get over that wall and stay safe. Very great play. Cornell gets a kill for that. And there is no dragon to be had, so NTC is pretty safe on that side. Orianna putting in a lot of damage. Anivia clapping back with some damage of her own. Seen a lot of posturing around Dragon while Ornn gets very aggressive onto Malphite. Malphite takes a beating, but he is not out of this. He's just popping some potion charges. He'll be ready to stick around. Leona getting caught out in her own jungle here as Twitch tries to back her up. A very good blast cone gets her over the wall and Rel not. Oh, a nice combo ult from the MF is going to put a ton of damage through Cornell, and that is a triple kill for NTC. All they lost was their Orianna. That was fantastic. Alright, NTC probably going to ride this into another dragon. Yeah, they're going to go for the dragon. This will get them that Infernal Dragon buff. And we'll find out what the rest of the game will be for Elemental Dragons. Alright, NTC now with a little bit extra damage. And we see Ocean Drink. Oh, there goes the Anivia egg, but it's under her tower. Malphite barely surviving the tower shots there with a flash. They didn't kill the Anivia, but they got her passive. And that's pretty good. Anivia's passive turns her into an egg for a few seconds. If you kill her while she's in her egg form, she dies. Otherwise, she respawns at her location with as much health as her egg had. So here, she's basically at full health as the Airbender is looking to combo her, pulls out an ulti, and Anivia goes down. Solid 1v1 from Airbender. Getting out of there just in time as Olaf kind of starts to show his ugly face. He's not ugly. Don't call people ugly. That's mean. Turret plating goes down, so any of that bonus gold from just doing damage to turrets is now no longer available. It looks like, oh, nice engagement from Leona onto Rel, has her in a very dangerous place. She gets ulted by Leona and stunned again. She's trying to get out, but her jump doesn't take her over the wall. She was just a little bit too far away, and Twitch gets the shutdown on her. So yeah, so top lane, the Ornn was about the only one able to really benefit from any of that tower plating gold. Actually, it looks like Orianna mid lane as well. J4 now in the bot lane area to help back up MF just in case something goes south while Rel is trying to get back. Meanwhile, Olaf top with a solid engage from both of them onto Malphite. He just gets bouncy castled and cannot get away. Ornn and Olaf now both down their ultimates at least.
Airbender better be careful, because Ornn is nearby, but thankfully he does have that ward, so I'm pretty sure he knows that Olaf's there.
Yeah. That lead on mid lane continuing to grow in Orianna's favor. The lead growing in Ornn's favor quite a lot there in that last play. Looks like NTC might be trying to run their bot lane a little bit.
Nope, Ornn will not get that tower, but he will
He's gonna
use
get
it probably
soon.
later for a false sense of security for Malphite, probably.
No, I think he's gonna let the minions do the work. I think he's gonna kill the lane and walk away. We'll see. Malphite's back though. Oh, a nice solid comboing of abilities there keeps them in MF's ulti. Unfortunately, it does not do enough damage to outright kill anybody. Thankfully, she manages to follow along and get the Leona. The dive comes through and Twitch goes down. Queen Shyvana taking the brunt of the damage there, so Empower can just get in there and kill the Twitch. Ornn trying to do some sneaky stuff in NTC's jungle. Malphite wanting to stop it, but simply can't. Nice, and Orianna takes the first turret for NTC. This game is staying very even. NTC is ahead in kills, but Cornell is ahead in CS, and that means that they are also ahead in gold. And gold is really one of the biggest and easiest power factors to determine leads in this game. Cornell now trying to take Rift Herald. NTC seeing that it's being done. They've got quite a few in the area to pick this fight. Queen Shyvana walks into a bush, gets stunned immediately, but the rest of NTC is there to follow up on it. Olaf is low, but he is chasing down Airbender. That flash comes through, he gets Airbender. He is still low, but not dying. As MF gets into the fight now, she's starting to roll in with the kills. Rel goes down to Twitch. Twitch is very low, but it looks like he's going to survive as Empower is desperately trying to peel for himself while his team peels for him as well and do the damage. He goes down alongside Jarvan. Meanwhile, Malphite just trying to get anything, and he goes down. That is a clean ace for Cornell. Actually, a nearly clean ace. Olaf did die in that. That is a very strong momentum shift for Cornell here, especially if they turn it into a tower.
Which it looks like they're probably not going to be able to, but definitely do some damage to it.
Yeah, for sure. Cornell now sporting a 3k gold lead over NTC. That's it's a pretty significant amount of gold at this point. That's about one item's difference between the two teams. One full completed item, I should say. NTC prepping the dragon, but not pulling it. Waiting to see if Cornell shows up, kind of trying to bait this a little bit. We have both teams here, 5v5. Just waiting for the engagement. There's the flag from Jarvan, but no dash. Still not engaged yet. There it is. There's the engagement. He jumps onto the Twitch, using his ulti to lock him in place. As NTC tries to follow up with as much as they can. The ulti comes out from the MF. Orianna and Twitch go down. And Jarvan falls. A tower falls in favor of NTC as well. Or no, sorry, that was one of NTC's towers that died. Malphite goes down. Rel goes down. And that is another solid win for Cornell that they are going to use to get Dragon. Now sporting an almost 5k gold lead here, about 4.5k. And that is the second Dragon for Cornell.
Yeah, the problem for NTC was they were just a little bit spread out, and I understand why. They didn't want to get hit by a stun from Ornn or Orianna, or not Orianna, but Nivea, or even Leona. So it's kind of hard to get all stacked up and get that wombo combo all together.
Yeah, Cornell is being very smart about trying to stay a little bit more split in these fights. You know, their backline, their Twitch, and their Anivia are staying very, very far back. So, you know, as we saw there, it took everything from Queen Shyvana just to commit onto the Twitch. And then he was only able to get him down to about half before he died because there was just no more follow-up from NTC. They couldn't get that deep. Meanwhile, Olaf just kind of walks past whatever NTC is going to do using his ulti, since it makes him immune to crowd control effects. And he just sprinted at the backline and made quick work of MF, and that was all she wrote. If Cornell keeps dissecting NTC like this in each of these team fights, then it's going to be a really, really hard time for NTC to come back from this.
Yeah, and the problem right now, looking at the map, NTC doesn't have much wards in their own jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Cornell has more wards out, so they have that vision. They know what's going on. Looks like NTC just needs to get it together real quick and figure out what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny, you mentioned that Cornell, you know, has more vision control right now. Overall, NTC has more wards on the map and more wards placed throughout the game. But Cornell is kind of putting their wards down with some strategy to make sure that they have very key points when they're ready to exert on those points available. Ooh, that Anivia wall stopped the Leona from landing her ulti, but it didn't matter. It still resulted in a kill on the Orianna. We see Queen Shyvana and Campy Stop here now fighting against this Ornn. Empower joins the fight. Is Queen Shyvana going to be able to survive? She is desperately trying to get away. The flag is down. She can dash away at any time, but she dashes back in. And there we go. I thought they put the flag down outside. Manages to get the kill on the Ornn, but Cornell using this opportunity to take Baron and turn that death into an advantage. Cornell now sporting a 7k-ish gold lead. Let's see here. Looks like everybody across both teams has finished their mystic item at this point. Anivia has managed to catch back up in that CS difference between her and Orianna. Same with the bot lane. Malphite, however, continuing to struggle just a little bit against that Ornn. And J4 managing to get more CS than Olaf. But Olaf has had a lot of lane presence. He's been getting a lot of kills. So I imagine he is actually still higher in gold value than Jarvan, despite the CS difference. Airbender now trying to run away as he sees this heavy group of Cornell coming after him. The problem is he did not know that the Twitch was in the backside of him, and that's death for Airbender. Another kill for Cornell.
You could say he was hiding.
He was hiding. Alright, looks like Cornell is grouping around the bot lane here, with Ornn still trying to catch up. It looks like he might actually take the decision to split push mid while the rest of the team exerts some pressure on bot lane. That wall from Anivia keeping the rest of those two members of NTC from getting back into relative safety. Ornn is now in the bot lane, looking to maybe back up this siege just a little bit as NTC continues to play very safe. Cornell now backing away, trying to get some of this bot lane or bot side jungle that's available to them, and maybe turn that into a dragon here soon. Dragon will be up in 20 seconds, so NTC can't just give that up. Oh, J4 getting caught out by the Leona in the death bush. He gets bouncy castled and locked down. He thankfully manages to make it out, but that Ornn ulti almost gets him. Instead, the Olaf is the one who manages to land it. Fantastic ulti from him, but unfortunately it doesn't do enough as MF lays in the damage. Cornell now very low, but there's nobody who can really follow up on any of this, and Cornell takes 4 kills. Rel is in a rough place and needs to retreat. That also means Dragon is up, and Cornell, yep, there's the Olaf going right for Dragon. We haven't actually seen Water Dragon yet in this series of matches. This is the Water Dragon buff here, giving you a little bit more health regen. So stacking those, that can be really, really, really deceptively tanky at lower health, because it does restore 2.5% of your missing health. So the lower health you get, the stronger it becomes. And now Cornell has 3 of those, or 2 of those, I'm sorry. And if they get a third one, they can get the Elder Dragon buff and lock NTC out of that very strong low health regen. Also, because of the way Olaf and his kit works, he actually gets stronger the lower health he is. So having more health regen lower in his health just makes him even happier. It also makes him a lot more deceptively tanky. Both teams trying to find value where they can at this point. NTC grouping mid, expecting probably a push from Cornell here. Ornn is still in the bot lane split pushing. It looks like NTC might send 1 or 2 to react to that. Just to try and keep him off of the turret. But it doesn't look like they're going to be able to actually pick a fight with him here. This is a rough place for NTC as they are now effectively split. J4 going over the wall is going to get NTC at least kind of grouped back up again. Orianna trying to hold off the threat of minions from mid lane while Cornell continues to kind of dance around in this bot side jungle here. Looks like they finally decided to stop waiting for a play to happen. They're just going to go do something else. Got a couple recalls coming through. Ornn quickly making work of that Grump there. Oh, actually, no, not quite. He ends up getting scared off by Rel placing a ward. He's going to do the safe thing and just stay away.
Oh, hello!
Leona looking for any wards, manages to find 2 members of NTC. Using the blast cone to get over the wall, she won't be caught out too horribly bad. Except when that happens. She's now with the Anivia. We'll see how this goes down. The teleport's coming in from Cornell as 4 members of Cornell, 5 members of Cornell now are here. Rel is going down. Now Cornell trying to catch up to this J4, leading him right into a death bush from NTC. Unfortunately, I don't know if NTC has the damage here to just win this outright. MF is too far back, and members of NTC are just dying. Olaf hanging in the back line takes out MF as soon as she shows up. Now NTC only has Queen Shyvana and the Airbender. Ornn knocks up Queen Shyvana. She is in a rough place. Dash barely managing to buy some extra distance. But of course they're being chased by an Ornn and a Olaf. They decide to turn away and just go for the Baron. NTC is still down 2 players for about another 10 seconds. Gives them plenty of time to beat up the Baron, hopefully before they even get there. NTC does still have Jarvan here, using that Ori ball as vision. We'll see if Jarvan is going to go for the smite steal here. Oh, he gets stunned and has to use his flash, which means he now needs to use his flag to get over the wall as Cornell keeps throwing the abilities out, trying to keep NTC at bay. Meanwhile, J4 is just waiting for his opportunity to go in and smite steal it. Unfortunately, Olaf was just a little bit quicker and manages to get the steal. J4 falls, and wow! Anivia's Icicle makes very short work of MF, and she goes down. Quick flash from Malphite will take him out of the fight towards the top lane as Cornell regroups and starts to push mid. Oh, actually looks like they're going to back off of mid. They had 2 people recall. So they're just going to take that opportunity to get out, get refreshed, get their new items, and come back strong. Cornell now sporting a 10k gold lead differential. That is really, really tough on NTC. That is a lot of extra value that they have. And now that they have Baron buff, their minions are going to be even stronger in the next fight as well.
And Cornell, or NTC, letting Cornell, like, that was a good smite. Letting him know, like, hey, that was a good smite.
Oh,
very good teamwork. Yep. It's all chat.
I like seeing sportsmanship. Where is this? Good smite. Thanks. Yeah. I like sportsmanship. Makes me happy. There's too much toxicity in esports. Remember playing soccer as a kid? If you played soccer or football or whatever, you just line up at the end of every game. Good game. Good game. Good game. Good game.
Kind of can't do that now these days.
Yeah, but it really instilled a sense of sportsmanship that I feel like has been lost. As I'm babbling about sportsmanship, Cornell took that last Ocean Dragon, forcing Elder Drake. Orianna getting caught out here means that Cornell is now in a 5v4 pushing formation with triple Ocean Dragon, with Baron buff, and their mana up. This is rough. They also got the Ocean Dragon Feel, or the Ocean Dragon Soul, rather, which allows them to just get some extra health and mana when damaging an enemy. So, just more sustain. Oof, Malphite goes down. MF trying to get some value out with her ulti, but can't quite land anything. We see the inhibitor and Rel go down for NTC as Jarvan is now trying to escape. Jarvan can't make it. It is now just MF. She's coming back from the pond, but she does not have her ulti anymore, which means she's in a rough place to try and contest this. This 1v5 fight as Anivia gets very aggressive. Looks like Cornell is just going to do their best to keep NTC off of the Nexus and take the Nexus. That will be a series win for Cornell. Man, GG both sides. That was exciting. I love it. I love it a lot.
Yeah. This match, I'll say this much. This match wasn't as, I wouldn't say as it was very one-sided for the most part. There was a couple times where I was gonna say, "Oh, NTC might get it," and then just wouldn't get it, and it happens. There's some you gotta win some to lose some. You gotta lose to win.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, we saw a great showing from both teams here. You know, Cornell coming out on top. They had a lot of really good synergistic team play. They were very, very smart about their vision placement, not just keeping it out all the time, but also keeping it out in the areas where they needed it most all the time. And I think that was really what swung the momentum for them at the end of all this. NTC, you know, they had some really strong early game presence in a couple of those, but just couldn't keep it through to the mid game, and then they were fighting an uphill battle into the late game. So, you know, NTC, you got your own things to work on. I'm going to trust Nick to handle all that because he's a much better coach than I am, but, you know, they've got some stuff to work on. That's what this is all about. Still trying to learn the new roster. You know, probably didn't help to have one of the second liners in. Kind of just threw a wrench in their normal plan that they've been doing for the past couple of weeks. So, you know, it is what it is. But it was a fantastic game from both sides. It looks like this stat page isn't going to load. So I'm just going to take it over here then. That'll be it then for this stream of NTC versus Cornell. If you liked what you saw, be sure to follow NTC Esports either here on Twitch by clicking the heart down below. You can also follow NTC_esports on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you are a student in the central Wisconsin area, or you're looking to be a student in the central Wisconsin area, why not check out NTC? I'm an NTC alum. I loved my time that I spent there. I had some fantastic teachers. The student services area is really, really involved, and they have a lot of fun activities that go on pretty much all the time. Obviously, the pandemic has kind of thrown a wrench in that a little bit recently. NTC takes the health and safety of their students very, very seriously. So as much as the campus could be closed down, it has been closed down for months now. So, you know, a wonderful place to go to school, great education, great price, and it's easily transferable into the University of Wisconsin system. We've got an esports team for League of Legends, Rocket League, and Overwatch. So if any of those interest you, be sure to follow this channel. I'll get it eventually. Follow this channel as well. I will be shoutcasting all of the League games along with my friend Cool Murloc here. And I also handle most of the Overwatch games. I'm still trying to get the schedule from that coach, so we'll see what happens. But as far as what's on this channel, we've got some Rocket League coming up on Tuesday, I want to say. But be sure to follow to be sure. Twitter will get you those notifications a little bit earlier in the day when it's happening. Anything from you?
Nah, if you liked what you see, you can follow this guy right above me. Admiral
to your left.
Foxpaw. Oh, my left
Switch
now.
layout.
Layout change in person, gag. No, to my left. Follow that guy and follow his Twitter as well.
Yeah, the handle underneath the different windows there for both of us, ADM Faux and Cool Murloc, that's us each respectively. We're both Twitch streamers. If you like our energy, check us out. I play a lot of Overwatch and a lot of random things. Cool Murloc here just kind of plays a lot of random things, but you know,
I just play all the things.
Yeah.
And
But,
we're getting back into it too.
Yeah, it's been a great stream. Thank you, both teams, for a good game on all sides. That was absolutely incredible to watch. I'm excited for next week to see what NTC brings to the table then. Cornell, good game to all of you. You guys did a great job. And, yeah, we'll go ahead and close things up now. So thank you again for tuning in. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.
Stay warm.
Yes, stay warm. That's very important.